Illegal immigrants taking advantage of a $4 billion tax loophole. Republicans moving forward to block it, but Senator Harry Reid efforting to block that ban. Town Hall Magazine's Elisabeth Meinecke says Democrats need to stop pumping up illegals. Elizabeth, I guess this is pretty transparent. We're in an election year. Nevada's got a big Hispanic vote, and of course the Hispanic vote might decide who occupies the White House after November, but it's also just a very despicable story also. Give us the details.
Exactly. Well, it's basically rewarding people who are working here illegally with $4.2 billion of American taxpayer money. And I think it goes to show where the Democrats' priorities are when it comes to things like tax credits. I mean, last year at this time, Harry Reid was trying to get rid of billions of dollars in tax credits for oil companies, which actually create jobs. But when it comes to this issue, which is, again, costing Americans $4.2 billion, he's dragging his feet.
Yeah, and to that point, even I read somewhere where someone made a pretty good observation that this amount of money, by the way, $4.2 billion, this amount of money is about what they're trying to raise or would raise from the Buffett rule. You know, it's absolutely amazing to think that people in America, people who are born Americans, who are, or just Americans rather, that they're out there actually struggling in what's been the worst post-recession recovery in history, and yet we have this kind of money to give away to people who are illegal.
Exactly. Well, and the Inspector General report said that this appears to be incentivizing people to break the law even more to come here and to get these subsidies. There were reports out of Indiana that said some illegal immigrants were receiving, $10,000, $11,000 based on this particular tax loophole that the Republicans are trying to close.
How does Harry Reid, what does he say officially to try to justify not wanting to close this particular loophole?
Well, I tried to give his office a chance to talk to me, and they didn't get back to me in time. But I did read that in the Hill, he was saying that this legislation goes too far. It would penalize too many people. It has too much of a broad umbrella. But really what this legislation does is it creates the same requirement to get this particular tax break that you do for the earned income tax break credit, which is basically that you need to make sure when you file you have a Social Security number, which I don't think is a revolutionary idea to anyone. I think most Americans would probably think that that was pretty average.
Yeah, I got to tell you, between all the outrage over people having to have identification to vote, Social Security to get tax credits, it's just nuts what the... to the extent that we're actually making our country less secure, and these are just basic things that you should know. It's just basic common sense. Where do you think it's going to go? Can this be resolved before the election? And by the way, do the Republicans have the stomach to make this a big-time issue? Are they willing to perhaps lose Hispanic votes by pushing on this?
Well, this isn't the first time that Senator Vitter's actually brought up a bill like this. He did this last year. So, again, this is a problem that Harry Reid knows is out there. This is a loophole that the Senate refused to address last year as well. But I think for this particular bill, Senator Vitter's office did say they're going to push forward on it. They feel like it's a good bill. They might try to bring it up as an amendment at different points. And bottom line, it comes to, as you said, just being responsible. And I think it also highlights so many of the abuses in the tax code and that the tax code needs reform. And that's an issue that Republicans are really good at communicating about. Paul Ryan has a plan where individual income tax codes could be, sized down to a postcard. So I think if they get the issue to that, it will help them. And Democrats, I haven't heard come up with any kind of solution in that
Elizabeth,
instance.
I got to go, but did you say the tax code, the 40,000 gazillion page thing, down to a postcard?
That's what Paul Ryan wants.
I'll tell you what, we'll have to call him Merlin if you can pull that one off. Thanks a lot, Elisabeth Meinecke.